Hello and welcome to On Point, a podcast series of fresh thinking on the big topics for corporates and institutions. I'm Ross Walker, co-head of Global Economics and Chief UK Economist at NatWest Markets. So last week saw the next milestone on the road to a post-Brexit trade deal with the European Union Council Summit taking place on the 15th and 16th of October. Now, there's certainly a more somber, pessimistic tone around the post-Brexit trade deal process, at least in terms of the rhetoric, though I think it's less clear that there has been a similarly scaled deterioration on the main points of substance. For example, the most dramatic headline that emerged at the tail end of last week was to the effect that the UK was saying that trade talks with the EU are over. When you look in more detail at the story, it doesn't seem to quite match the headline. The UK was saying that Michel Barnier should only come to London this week if he's prepared to discuss all of the issues on the basis of a legal text. And so in that sense, it's difficult to see how you could equate that with the talks being over if all issues are to be discussed and on the basis of a legal text, because that is fundamentally what this entire process is trying to achieve. So we move on to ongoing negotiations, and we suspect over time we will see slowly, probably in mid to late November, an agreed trade deal treaty text emerging. The reaction in financial markets, and in particular the currency markets, which I think are the main playing field really for this Brexit view, was fairly rational and measured, I think. We were surprised by the extent to which expectations of a breakthrough at this EU summit were running ahead of the process on the ground. There is still not plenty of time, but there is still time, and therefore no real need we see for either side to be making large concessions at this stage. We think that will come next month in November, closer to the final legal deadline on the 31st of December. And also, given that the most likely outcome of this process is a very limited, bare bones trade deal, certainly a big step back from the full economic integration of EU membership, it makes some sense to understand this in the context of each side perhaps wanting to use the negotiation process as a distraction, to have the focus on the deal or no deal outcome rather than the detail of the trade deal, which probably won't win too many plaudits. So the sticking points remain as they have for several months. Getting a deal on fisheries. There was some hint of compromise by the French President Emmanuel Macron on that front. The level playing field state aid issue is still there, though recent media reports suggest some convergence of view is slowly gaining ground, and the dispute resolution processes and frameworks. So still some work to do, but all of these issues, each of these three main stumbling blocks, seem to us to be resolvable. And as I say, talks resume this week and beyond, and we look for some incremental progress over the next month or so. So in terms of the eventual probabilities, where will we be at the end of this year? We still think a deal is more likely than no deal, and we would put the probability of a deal at around 65%. We try to keep these probabilities quite stable. This is not meant to be mirroring the moves you sometimes see in financial markets. This is an underlying view of the fundamental process. And the reason for expecting a deal is simply that it seems to be in both sides' interests to get a basic trade in goods deal. For the EU, they run a large €100 billion trade in goods surplus with the UK. It would seem foolish to put that at risk over being overly prescriptive on state aid, for example. And for the UK, the UK economy has been one of the underperformers among the advanced economies this year. Brexit will inevitably cause some disruption and impose some costs on businesses. Large parts of the UK economy across the service sector will not obviously be covered by this future trade deal. So there will be significant disruption. Why make it unnecessarily worse? So overall, we think a trade deal is coming, but probably not until later into November. I hope you enjoyed this episode of On Point. Please do subscribe to our channel to get future episodes and like it, as this will help others to find it. We also encourage you to follow us on social media to get all our latest content. Speak to you soon. Thank you.